Black Ops 3 is a game with a Deus Ex-like plot where the player loses his limbs in a horrible combat situation and is outfitted with robotic prosthetics to form part of an elite force, which ends up in a plot involving the dangers of technology and so... Wait, that is wrong. Black Ops 3 is a game set in a city right from the 40s where people are forced to fight the hordes of the undead and are able to take on shoot-like powers for... Oh shoot, that is not it either. Black Ops 3 is the latest iteration of the massively popular multiplayer first-person online shooter where millions of players call each other names and... Wait, what game is this again? Black Ops 3 is a game that continues the recent Call of Duty tradition of using the same basic game elements but trying to be many things at once. I have already covered the open beta this game had a few months ago, and now the full game is out. So the question is, has things changed a lot since then? Well, only one way to find out. This is the LowSpecGamer. While everyone is busy discussing if the graphics of a game are good or bad, we are busy ruining the graphics anyway, so we could play. So, forget about high internal resolution or a visible body count, because we are going to make this game run. Or rather, see if it can still be run the same way. This is the default configuration for Black Ops 3. Compared to the beta, there are some minor differences in both screen resolution and render resolution. This new default is probably meant for a decent computer, as it led to catastrophic performance even in single player mode. I wonder if performance on lower settings has improved. So, after lowering the screen resolution, the next most important step is to lower the render resolution to 50%. You can disable vertical sync if you like, and reduce texture filtering, disable all effects and anti-aliasing. Surprisingly, performance is better than in the beta. Good work, developers. There's still periodic drops and you may be using a weaker computer. So, let's see how much has changed on the configuration file. The configuration file for this game is located at the same place as it was on the beta, on the install folder of the game. If you are on Steam, this is located at Program Files 36, Steam, Steam Apps, Common, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Players. The file is called config.ini and can be opened using Notepad. Now this file might look different than the beta, but calm down, it is actually quite easy to tweak and surprisingly well commented. Most settings tell you what they do. Right after capping my frame rate to 30, I'm going to reduce the corpse count to 0. Which will dramatically reduce the amount of corpses in the ground. This is especially important for the zombie mode. And here is an interesting new one. This controls the percentage of video memory to be used by the game. As you can see by the comment, it can be reduced to 0.75, which means 75% of the memory, so we will do just that. If you want to experiment with the resolution, you can do so on this line over here. You may want to change into windowed mode for it to work properly. Since this game has a decent internal resolution control, I might not need it, but if you're still experimenting low performance, feel free to experiment with it. Now, here we are on the graphics section. As I once said for the beta, many of the parameters here work backwards. The higher the number, the lower the quality. No clue why. At least the file comments let us know that. There are some values on the final game that are not as low as they could be. For example, we can reduce texture filter by putting it to 2, texture quality effects by putting it to 15, and texture quality probes to 16. Down here we can force texture MIPS to stay loaded to avoid streaming by putting this variable to 1. Then we have our good friend shadow resolution. As the comments indicate, we can gain performance by putting both shadow types to its minimum resolution possible, 128. Here are some lighting options that we did not saw in the beta. You can reduce the samples for sunlight and local lights to 1 on these both variables. With all these changes done, save the file and let's do some testing. I have no idea what happened there. All in all, I'm a little disappointed. In the beta version of this game, you could reduce the quality of meshes all the way until you will have the most atrocious graphical glitches. Not here anymore. It seems they have fixed it. Probably, in the eyes of the developer, that was probably a glitch or something to be corrected. For me, that was a feature. Oh well. At least overall performance is... At least overall performance is better than in the beta, so it all compensates, I guess. I have not seen an enemy in a while. That is very alarming. Oh, there you go. Oh, that was accidental, but it worked. Either this team is really good, or I'm really lost because there's nothing here for me to shoot at. I think I'm missing something. Oh, so that's how the beast looks. Whoa! That is much scarier than I expected. I'm never going to do that. Monsters. Oh! Okay, this is not going well for me. No, don't die, damn it. Oh. Well, this is not good. This is all for this episode. Look, we all know I'm terrible at competitive shooters, even if they occasionally like to believe they're cooperative zombie shooters. But at least now, I cannot blame low performance all the time for my bad aiming. Wait, that is not a good thing. Maybe I should have not changed anything. Before we go, it's time for the latest
LowSpecGamer LowSpecGamer giveaway.
Last week, I asked about your game of the year so far, and the randomly selected winner is Signal Radar, with a name that I heard on many entries, Undertale. I started to play this game out of curiosity after reading all your comments, and well, I see where the love comes from now. The question this week is a bit of the flip side. What game or expansion are you looking forward the most for next year? This time, the prize is a Steam copy of Stealth Inc. 2, donated by Twitter user Terra Bale. Thank you for watching and playing. More videos to come soon.